ready? For our last recorder song of the year, we're going to be learning the theme from Star Wars. I hope you're ready. It's time to get started. Okay, so as you can see, I have my Star Wars theme music in front of me, and I'm going to play the whole thing through first, and then we're going to break it down together. Now, you'll notice that I have my song divided into 3 different sections. We have a blue section, a red section, and a green section. I'm going to start by just playing the blue section. I want you to listen and follow along. Just blue first. That was only the blue section. Now I'm going to play just the red section, and I want you to listen very carefully and see if you notice anything about the blue section and the red section. Are they the same? Are they different? Now let's listen to the red section. Now, if we listen really, really carefully, you may have noticed that the blue section and the red section are exactly the same. So it looks like a lot of notes, but if we know how to play the blue section, then we already know how to play almost half the song because the red section is the same. Now let's listen to the green section, and we're going to hear if it's same or different from the blue and the red. Now, was the green section the same or different from the blue and the red section? It was different. Now, we have the blue section, the red section, like I said, are exactly the same, and our green section are different. So we're going to start with the rhythm of the blue section, and whatever we say for the blue is going to be the same for the red. So let's start taking a look at the rhythm. If we look at our first note, we'll notice that we start with a half note. So we say ta for our first note. Then we have another half note, ta, and another half note, ta, except our second and our third half notes have this line above them, which is called a tie. And it means that these 2 notes are going to be attached. So that means instead of having one note with 2 beats, followed by another note with 2 beats, we're going to add them together so it becomes a long note of 4 beats. So it's going to sound like a whole note. So let's try saying just that rhythm so far from the beginning, starting with our half note. Ready, go. Ta, ta. Nice job. Now, if we keep looking ahead, we'll notice that we have a few group of tas over here, except there's something a little different. There's a bracket with a 3, which means that we're going to attach these 3 tas together, and they become what's called a triplet because there's a group of 3. Now, we already saw from Frog in the Bog a group of 3 8 notes, or a triple T. This one is a group of 3 tas, which means it's going to be longer and slower. So instead of triplet, it's going to be triplet. Let's try that together. Ready, go. Triplet. Now let's try going back to the beginning, starting with ta, and ready, speak. Ta, ta, triplet. Now if we scan ahead at our next 2 measures, you might notice that they're exactly the same rhythm. So let's try saying the next 2 measures. Ready, go. Ta, ta, triplet. Now let's look to see if the next 2 measures have the same rhythm. Ready, go. Ta, ta, triplet. Also the same rhythm, so it repeats. Now the next 2 measures of our blue section, we can already see it's different because it starts with a whole note, which has 4 beats. Let's try saying a note that has 4 beats. We say ta, and ready, go. Ta, and then we have a rest, which takes up the whole measure. It is 4 beats of rest. Let's try it. Shh, 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 shh. Great job. Now let's go back to the beginning and say the whole rhythm from beginning to end. Now, when we get to the end of the blue section, remember we said that the red section was exactly the same. So we're actually going to go through the red section as well and repeat the rhythm twice from the beginning. Here we go. Ta, ta, triplet ta, ta, triplet ta, ta, triplet ta, sh, 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 ta, ta, triplet ta, ta, triplet ta, ta, triplet ta, sh, 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 sh. Now we know the rhythm for the blue and the red section. Let's take a look at the rhythm for the green section. Now it starts with a whole note, which means we have 4 beats. Then we have another whole note. Let's try saying 2 whole notes in a row. Ready, go. Ta, ta. Our next measure, we start with a half note, so we say ta. And look, we have another ta triplet. So we say triplet, and we finish with a ta. Then our last few beats are all rests. Let's see how many rests we have. Starting with a quarter rest, that's 1 beat. Then we have a half rest, which is 2 beats. So added together, we have a total of 3 rests at the end. Let's try speaking the whole rhythm for just the green section. Ready, go. Ta, 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 triplet ta. Good job. Now that we know the rhythm for the whole song, let's go back and figure the notes so that we can start playing it together. Okay, now if we take a look at our blue section, we start with the first note, which is on the second line, and that note is G. Now our next note, remember it's tied for a length of 4 beats in total, is on the 4th line, which is a high D. So we have D. Now we have our triplet. Let's see what notes they are. The first one is on space 3, which means it's a C. Then the 3rd line in the middle, which is B. Second space is A. Let's try saying the notes from just the first 2 measures. So now we have G, D, C, B, A. Now let's look ahead and let's see if the next 2 measures are the same or different. Starts with a G on the 2nd line. Then we have a D, which lasts for 4 beats, the 4th line. Then we have C, B, and A. Let's try just singing that much. When we start with G, T, 1, 2, 3, we're going to do this. G, D, then C, B, A. Try singing just that much. Starting on G, ready, sing. G, D, C, B, A. Then it repeats itself exactly. So let's sing and sing again. Ready, go. G, D, C, B, A. Now let's go back and try playing that. Starting on G, same thing. Ready, go. Great job. Let's keep going. Now we're looking at the next note is a G. Then we have D again. So we have G, D. Now we're coming up to our triplet. Let's see what the notes are here. We have a 3rd space C, 3rd line B. Uh-oh, Now we have a different note. Instead of going down to A like it did before, for the last time we repeat, we're going to go up to C. So instead of C, B, A, now we have C, B, C. And then we finish with our last note, which is a whole note in our blue section. On the second space is A. Let's try singing just that last part. Starting on G. Ready, sing. G, D, C, B, C, H. All right, let's try playing it now. Don't forget to switch between C, B, C, and finishing on A. Just that last part of the blue section, starting on G. Ready, play. Nice job. Let's go back to the beginning of the blue section and play that whole thing from beginning to end, starting on G. 1, 2, here we go. Remember, we said that the blue section is exactly the same as the red section. So we have all of our notes in here for the blue section, and the red is exactly the same. So now if we can play it, the whole thing, one more time for the red section. Let's start from here. G, D. Don't forget C, B, I, G, D. The same. C, B, I, G, D. And this one's different. C, B, C, A. Starting from where my mouse is, the red section. Starting on G. Now we're playing. Ready, go. Okay, the only part we have to figure out still is the green section. This is our last part. Now, we said already we start with a whole note, and it's on line 2, which means that it's the note G. Our next measure for our second whole note, it's on space 2, which is note A. Then if we look at our next half note, we go back to space 2, which is note G. And if we look at the rest of our notes, does it stay the same or does it change? All the rest of the notes stay the same. So we finish with G, 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 G. Let's try singing that. So put your recorder on your chin. Show me G. It's going to sound like this. G, A, G, 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 G. You sing and sing. Ready, go. G, A, G, 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 G. Now let's try playing our green section. Starting on G. 1, 2, ready, play. Nice job. Let's go back to the beginning of the song, play the whole thing from beginning to end, and then we are done. So don't forget that our blue section goes up to here and repeats exactly for the red section. And then our last part is the only part that's different. Starting from G, let's play the whole thing from beginning to end. 1, 2, ready, go. Now repeats exactly the same. different section starting on G. And that is the whole Star Wars theme. Great job, everybody.